Today, Jay Samsal and I are on the hunt for some midsummer giant muskie.
Fishing with Gussy is proudly sponsored by and uses Shimano rods and reels. Visit Shimano.ca for all the specs.
Jeff Gustafson here. Welcome to Fishing with Gussy. Today we're on the shores of Lake of the Woods at Figure 8 Baits in Kenora, Ontario. And what better way to get motivated to go muskie fishing than to walk into this tackle shop? Probably the best lineup of muskie baits, selection of muskie baits, rods, tackle, anywhere in Canada. Ryan's loaded up in here, so we're just in here getting the report on fishing on Lake of the Woods. And you know, if you ever come up here, this is the store you want to come into. These guys know what's going on. They can tell you what bait you need to tie on your rod and where the muskies are. And so yeah, we're trying to pump Ryan for some info. Jay Samsal and I are heading out this morning. We're going muskie fishing on Lake of the Woods. Hopefully we have a good day. We can see some big fish and put a muskie or two in the boat. The report is night, fish at night, and they're slow right now. That's not what we want to hear, but it doesn't matter. We're going anyway. It's going to be a good day. We should see lots of fish. Thanks. So we're finally out on the water. We got a little bit of a late start this morning, but Jay Samsal's with me, a local muskie expert and good fishing buddy of mine. And yeah, we picked a beautiful day, midsummer. So yeah, muskies are going to be shallow. We're going to fish a number of big reef systems and saddles. You can see out behind us we've got a big rock pile, and that's going to run all the way up into shore here. So we're fishing as many of these big structures as we can, and these muskies just patrol the edges of them. You know, if you have a boulder, a patch of weeds, that's a high percentage place you want to cast your bait by. And I'm gonna be pretty religious. I'm throwing a Northland booby trap, a big double-bladed spinner bait, and that's what I have a lot of confidence in. These catch muskies, you know, all over the place. Doesn't matter where in Canada you're fishing. Jay is gonna be the test sorta, and he's got about 4 or 5 rods back here rigged up with different baits, and he's gonna experiment, you know, with some topwaters, some twitch baits, some crank baits. I see he's got a big bulldog plastic bait tied on one of his rods, so we're just going to cover some ground and see if we can't make contact with a few fish today. So there you have it. That's what we're doing. Hopefully we can catch a fish now.
One thing that's really important when you're fishing these crankbait style baits that have these lips on them is to make sure that they're running straight. And this guy's running a little bit to the left, so the way you tweak these things is you take this eye and you bend it the opposite way of where it's running. So if it's running to the left, you want to bend that little eye just to the right a bit and straighten that bait out, because if you don't, the bait won't run like it's supposed to run and you're not going to see the fish that you intend to see. And Jeff's saying, you know, he's fishing at the front of the boat, and the front of the boat a lot of times does see a lot more of the action, but he's throwing a bait that I think in my mind is one of the best musky baits you can throw on Lake of the Woods. It's called a booby trap. It's made by Northland, and the whole deal with that are the big Colorado blades that are geared on these things. They're big I think those are like number 12s, and they really move a lot of water. They send a lot of vibrations through the water, and these things coming up, you know, it's nothing that you'd see. You know, it's not, you know, I guess you say it's representing bait fish, but they're just curious on it. They want to come up and check it out.
Yeah, look at how big. This thing doesn't look like it's that big right now. It's, you know, when it's out of the water. Watch it in the water.
It's got that flashaboo, and that stuff really becomes alive underneath the water. It's something, I don't know, as bass anglers, we probably don't incorporate enough of that in some of our baits sometimes, as much, you know, movement as that stuff has. It sure works for muskies.
Oh, whoa, big dog. Frickin' the one time I don't do a figure eight. Unbelievable. Big fish, dude. Oh. Did you see him?
I didn't, I wasn't looking.
Oh, I pulled my bait out and he just came like, he just did
Floated
like.
up?
Yeah.
No way.
Unreal.
See, kids?
Do they ever come back up after you?
Absolutely they do.
Yeah.
Local expert Jeff Gustafson pulls his bait out of the water and one floats up right beside the boat. And I bet you he'll never do that again.
I learn everything the hard way.
Oh.
That gets you fired up though. That's why you do this, muskie fishing, man. That's cool. We've been doing this for an hour or so, and I'm just sort of going through the motions now, and wasn't.
Brain check time. See that over the tree line? These things are gonna get fired up here. We get in the right areas like this, and it's just gonna be a matter of time. These fish love to feed, and they just get really active when these big systems come through. I think that's a sign of things to come here the next little bit.
You get to see some of these giant lures in action coming up next.
Been coming to the English River since 1978 when my dad flew us in. Flew us into Jordan's resort, and there must have been about 12, 14 kids and 4 adults. And of course, the kids ruled. We're all 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and we just had a ball. Been coming back to this place ever since, and it was one of my dad's true passions in life. He loved this place. And he ended up going blind, and he had actually brought 3 CNI dogs to this campground to fish with him. And he had a lot of wonderful stories, the old man Larry. And he couldn't see very well to cast, so he was just always jigging alongside the boat if people were casting. And Larry, he got on this 25-pound northern one time on this little jig. He had 8-pound test and a little walleye jig and a minnow on it. And he fought it and fought it and fought it. And of course, when it came time to get it in the net's not big enough. All right, so we got this northern that's only about, he's at least 25 pounds. And he's got only a small portion of it in the net. We're trying to lift it up and hang on to it, and the darn thing just slides out of the net, and it's laying in the water. The lure falls out of its mouth, and it's just laying there. And he doesn't see very well anyway, so he can't reach down and just grab it, and then pretty soon it comes to life and swims off. And poor Larry and his northern are gone, but Larry just died last year. Sad part of the story, but Larry still makes the trip with us, if you know what I mean. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but so that's a long time on the English River. I got my son comes with me now, and that seems like a family tradition. We love this place, love the North Woods.
We're out here, it's kind of late August. I think we're around the 21st of August today. And the temperatures have been fairly stable for a while. Last few nights we've had some cold weather come in. The nights have dropped down to about 7 degrees, and the water temps have dropped somewhat. What we've kind of heard from some of the reports from the guys that have been out here fishing pretty steadily is that the fish are kind of lethargic right now. They are seeing some fish. They're not catching a pile of them. And the fish they're seeing, they're moving slow and they're kind of coming in deep. So some things that are really important when you're out here doing this is to have a good pair of polarized glasses. With these fish following in, you know, 3, 4, even 5 feet below your lure, and they're coming in real slow, it is so important to be able to see them. And if you don't have a good pair of polarized lenses, you're not going to see these fish. And the other thing that's really important, especially when you got conditions like this and it's kind of move these fish a little bit slower, is to always watch behind your bait. It's always important to make that, you know, half a figure eight. Bring the bait past your body, so you have the opportunity to have a good look at the bait, and then behind the bait. I've seen these things follow 10 feet back behind the bait, and they come up, and you know your bait's out of the water, and all of a sudden you got a fish sitting there, and you know it pays off to do a figure eight, or at least, you know, make an effort to bring it past your body and have a good look, because the first time you pull it out of the water, there's a fish there.
And you won't catch them after you pull your bait back out and, hey?
No.
They usually hit
they're
the
gone.
high road after that.
No, these things do not give you many opportunities, and you need to capitalize on everything you get, because they are the fish of 10,000 casts.
Come on, muskies. I just had a bass about the size of my bait coming up behind it, just torpedoing around it. Gotta love that attitude. As far as, you know, we've talked about our baits a little bit and the kind of stuff we're fishing. Rods and reels are important as well, and we're using all Shimano reels. Jay's throwing the Corrado 300 series, and those are kind of a newer reel in the last year or two that have become real popular with musky anglers. I'm throwing the old standby, the Calcutta 400. This is the TE model, so it's really got beefed up gears, top of the line musky reel, and I can cast good with it, cast far, and it's got lots of power so that I can reel this big blade bait in, and I'm not beating myself up too bad. It's not a huge workout, but you know, if you want to go get serious about musky fishing, it's a workout. It's not easy. You know, you got to make a lot of casts, and the other thing is you got to reel your bait pretty quick. You know, over all the guiding that I've done over the years, you take people out and do it, and they want to reel their bait in real slow. And the problem when you do that is a lot of the time you're just asking for these fish to follow up. You got to keep stuff moving, get their attention, and trigger them to strike, get a reaction out of them. And that's what we try to do with most of these baits. So
There we go.
yeah, buddy. Look at that, textbook right up in that shallow water.
It's a smallmouth.
Oh. Oh, well, hey, we'll take them too.
I was just about to say, I don't think it's a very big fish, but it's a nice little brownie.
That's good attitude.
Not much bigger than the bait. This is the kind we like. Eating kind. Musky bait, musky bait.
Okay, on to the next spot, bud.
That was a king.
We spot a giant, but can we catch one? That's coming up next. best tip I can give you today, and this doesn't matter if you're muskie fishing, walleye fishing, bass fishing, anything, your hook's got to be sharp if you want to catch a lot of fish. So I always keep a file handy with me in the boat. This particular one's got a big rough edge and then a finer side over here for you know, really fine tuning. These hooks on my bait are actually pretty sharp already. I touched them up earlier this morning, but you always want to, you know, run the file just one way. You sometimes see people going like this. That's not the right way to do it. You just want to run everything right off the end, and that's going to give you a razor sharp hook. And the best way to test it is just to scratch your fingernail with it, and if you scratch it with very little pressure like I just did right there, that means your hook's sharp. Muskie bites, any fish bites, you're going to be able to bury the hook and put them in the boat.
That was a king.
Unbelievable. I don't know what to say. Just had a giant fish follow up, like a really big one, right on my bait, like a, I don't know.
That's a, man.
Big fish, so. Heart's pumping. We're having a good day. I wish we could put one on the boat for everybody watching, but hey, this is the reality of muskie fishing, and we've worked hard all day, and we've got a little bit of time left, so. This is the reality of it that you're seeing today, and that's the way she goes. But we're not done yet. Keep her rolling.
There you go, atta boy. Good job, buddy.
Oh yeah.
Nice and easy. Oh, that's a nice fish too. Oh, it's a big pike.
Wow.
Wow. It's a big pike.
We'll take that, hey?
That's like a 20-pound pike.
Unreal.
In the bag.
We'll grab this guy, and yeah, you don't see them jump very often either.
You know, you don't, out here you got a better chance of catching a quality muskie than a quality northern like that. I mean, that's a
big guy.
That's like a probably 15 pounder, I bet.
No, it's more than that.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big fish.
You want to? You know what? Let's leave her in the net. You want to take them hooks out now, or?
Yeah. Grab me one of those gloves, Jay. These big predators can cut up your.
Want the other one, or?
No, that's the one I want. Can cut your hands up pretty good. So, when I was in figure 8 baits this morning, I got a pair of these gloves, and I don't know what they're called or anything, but got a picture of a muskie on them. But they are the ticket for grabbing these fish, because you know what? They thrash around on your hand, and it's not gonna be fun. Okay. Grab these pliers.
That's a tanker, man.
Yeah.
For northern around here, wow.
Not hooked bad at all, just in a little bit of gristle on this corner of his mouth. Okay. Wow. They're not as thick as a muskie, but I'll tell you what, for a big pike, that's it, baby. Wow. They're a little
Nothing wrong with that.
No, we'll take those all day long.
Are we ever gonna land a muskie? You'll have to wait until we come back to find out.
You know, when it comes to choosing locations to fish, this is your classic kind of spot right here. We've got 2 big seagull rocks, or we like to call them elephant rocks. Little saddle in between them. big water out behind us, deep water, and just a high percentage place that, you know, two guys can go over. We watch where each other cast, so we're not casting right on top of each other. And we can cover a spot like this pretty quick, and if there's an active fish on it, we should be able to get his attention. Another monster northern, buddy.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh.
that's cool. We'll take them. Funniest thing, you know, we're in like some of the best musky water on Lake of the Woods, and you know, let's hold this net, Jay.
You're right below you, Gussy.
Okay, I'm just gonna grab that glove to grab this guy.
Oh, you know what? He's
Oh, he came out?
he's off yet.
Beautiful.
Here, I'll get
This net, this Frable net is a beauty. These fish are just stay nice and happy in there. Really a good deal. Okay. See if we can grab this fella.
I don't think he's as big as the last one, but he's a nice
He's a
fish.
Bigfoot. No, he's a big one though. Okay. Whoa. Sweet. You know what? That's just a bonus when you go chasing muskies out here, and all these lakes across Sunset Country, whether you go to Eagle Lake, Wabagoon, Rainy, Lake of the Woods, they all got big pike too. And you know, we've put in a long shift today muskie fishing. We've seen 8 or 9, 10 fish follow up.
Yeah.
So if we were just out fishing for fun, that's a good day. And we just didn't hook any up, so that's the way it goes. We'll get this guy back. And that's a nice big fish, man. Good deal. There he goes. So that's about, you know, it's supper time. I'm literally wore out, buddy. You wore me out today doing this.
Yeah, it's the game you play. We've seen a lot of fish today, and we've seen some real quality fish. It was fun. I had fun. This is the first time actually we've both been out muskie fishing together, and you put your time in. We probably hit 20, 25 spots today.
Yeah.
And we've probably seen 8 or 10 fish. We've seen some quality fish. We didn't get the right species to bite, but we put a few on camera for you. And that's the way it goes.
Yeah, and you know what? We could go out again for fun in the next few days. We've located a number of these fish now.
Yeah.
Go back, go at them from a different angle, try different bait. Maybe
Different time of day, you know. One thing today we did something that's kind of a little more untraditional. We fished, you know, banker's hours. We were out at 8 and it's 5 o'clock now, and you know, any quality muskie angler will tell you this is the time from now till dark as you want to be out. But you know, we got the time. You know, we didn't have a ton of time today. We got out when we could, and it was fun. You know, that's the bottom line. It was fun.
Good day. Hey, that's gonna wrap it up for today. We will put a muskie on film before the end of the year, and it'll just be on a different episode. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Fishing with Gussy proudly uses Power Pro Super Slick Line. Power Pro, all of the power with none of the noise.